Traveling will make us richer. Good day, Toastmasters. Since 1980, the United Nations World Tourism Organization has been celebrating World Tourism Day on September 27th. On September 27, 1970, the statute for the United Nations World Tourism Organization was adopted. This is considered as a milestone for global tourism, which is the reason we celebrate this day on September 27th. Let me highlight four benefits of traveling. It is always better to spend money on experiences rather than on materialistic things because memories are our treasure. Can you recall your favorite adventure or your unique experience? Don't you feel happy? In the end, we regret the things we didn't do and not the things we do. Secondly, traveling allows us a temporary opportunity to escape from our everyday life. We do the same set of things every day, meet the same kind of people, or visit the same type of places. But traveling allows us to come out of the bubble called as the comfort zone as we meet people from different cultures and have new experience. We will even be able to solve issues or problems because we do not have any distractions while traveling. Thirdly, traveling makes us smarter as it places us in unusual situations where we have to face certain challenges. This helps us push our boundaries and come up with creative solutions. Ultimately, learning occurs because of experiences. Last but not the least, traveling will help us to get to know about ourselves. We can observe our behavior in different situations, sometimes even the extreme ones. Then we can introspect and look into our improvements. Toastmasters, travel, live, and laugh. You can go trekking on mountains like Kathy, or explore cities or villages, or just relax in nature. Travel wherever you want, but travel. Our grammarian is not there today, so I'll just read out the word of the day. Today's word of the day is exertion, which means a short journey or trip, especially one taken as a leisure activity. An example of a sentence can be I went on a short excursion few days back. I'll be putting the word of the day and its meaning in the chat. Next, we'll proceed to the next section of our meeting. I would like to call our first evaluator, Kathy, to read out the speech objectives of Fatima.
For our first speech, Fatima will be doing a speech on connecting with storytelling. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. We look forward to this.
Thank you, Kathy. Please give a big round of applause to her and also to Fatima. She is going to attempt a project from Connect to Storytelling. Please put your hands together to Fatima, a day to remember forever. A day to remember forever, Fatima.
It was a sunny day. As kids, we were playing in the backyard. In those days, we have a big house and a big backyard where you can play. Myself, being the eldest of 10 children, we were playing football. It's a Friday where all the gentlemen has gone to do their Friday prayers, and it was only us children playing. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, sounded like a bomb had gone off. Loud thunder. As the eldest in command, I shouted, "Come, everybody, let's go to the home." and I ran. As I ran, I stood in front of the door. We come from a poor family, so it was just 4 walls and tin roofs. But as children, we enjoy life, happiness, playing, only if adults can do that. We had big trees. There was a mango tree and water apples tree that is commonly grown in Asian countries. That was hanging right over our house. And my eldest brother, just 9 years old, he was trying to help mom. He went on the roof. And remember, roof is a place where you can get away from your parents. It's our hiding place. Only thing is that mangoes and water apples, they are yummy to eat. But on a windy day, you can hear plop, plop, plop on the roof, hitting on the sheets. This is why my brother was trying to help to cut the branch. He had a long knife with him and he was on the roof. Now that's the sound that we heard. And as I stood at the door, frozen, I saw that the tin sheets, the roof had fallen into the room. My brother, I saw him climbing out of the tin sheets that had fallen over him. And he was still carrying that big knife. And there was screams and shouting from my mother, the only woman in the house, the elderly person. My brother had a big gash on his arm. That was a day to remember forever. The blood was oozing out like a fountain. And he was running after us, shouting, screaming in pain. And as children, and my mom, she didn't know what to do. And we were running away and he was running after and the blood was oozing out. I don't know how long we were like that. My grandfather came home. He went straight to my brother. He had a towel. He wrapped around my brother's arm. And then I heard the sound of the siren. The ambulance came and they took him to the hospital. As a children, we asked our parents, when would our brother come home? Last year, my brother passed away. He's no longer. These are the memories that I carry. And ladies and gentlemen, I could never tell this story to anybody until today. Those memories inside me. And my brother, when they took him to the hospital, they said that he had cut 2 nerves on his arm, which is crucial for his movements, motor movements. But they had stitched 2 wrong nerves and he couldn't use his arm for his lifetime. But ladies and gentlemen, it's important for your mental health to let out these stories and to tell to people. I remember all his life, he wanted to help to take care of us. And he wanted to use his arm and he did lots of effort. He was taken to us to Sri Lanka to do a surgery and he went to physiotherapy. But ladies and gentlemen, sometimes incidents happen to us. Sometimes we have our arms, body hearts cut off, imputed, but that's how we should live. Because with whatever happens in life, the sad stories, they stay in our hearts. We need to let it out and tell. And this is during this COVID time. I thought this is something I came across all my friends. It's like sad stories, so much out there, but we keep inside. Let's let out and tell the stories. And Toastmasters, here we are. This is the right platform to share the stories. And this is my story that I will remember forever. Over to you. Thank you.
Please give a big round of applause to Fatima for sharing that heart-wrenching story. At first, I thought that it was just a gash, but then it went on to a way that now he cannot even use his arms at all. It is really sad. And as you rightly said, it is good for our mental health to just share our stories, and Toastmasters is a very good platform for doing that. Next, I would like to call our second evaluator, Somesh, to read out the objectives of John's speech.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. John is doing the project from Team Collaboration Path, Level 3, Project 1, which is Successful Collaboration. The purpose of the project is to introduce or review strategies for working in a collaborative group. So John has to work with a small team and collaborate to make decisions. And his goal is to apply the collaboration strategies he learned to a small scale project, such as planning a club meeting. And he has to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech at a club meeting about his experience with the collaboration process. All the best, John. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Please applaud Somesh. And also to our next speaker, John, team building. Team building, John.
No, why should I? Who made you the boss? I didn't. Team building. I found out a long time ago, it's hard. Collaboration with people is hard. And I found that out very early. I have a problem with team building. When I say team building, if I am setting a team up myself, I'm okay, because I know I can get the right people to do the right job and build that team. But when I get put into a team, then I have problems because I don't know anybody else in the team. Very difficult to build a rapport with them or collaborate with them. Now, years ago, I worked as a manager of a store. And there was a notice, it was a big company, district manager wanted. I thought, well, I'll go for that. So I put my name down and I went, they sent for us and we went on an excursion all the way to their head office, which was about 70 miles away. Walked into a room, there was 8 other people applying for the district manager's job. So we went to an interview. It was a group interview. Then they put a problem in front of us. We want you to come up with a promotion to make more profit for our club next year, for our company next year. Now, there's all different personalities, 8 people, as I said, all talking over each other, coming up with these ideas. So I put my pennyworth in, as they say, and I talk about a 10% increase on the turnover. And if the shops do it over 10%, they can get 10% to split between the shops. It was thrown out. So after a day at the office, back I came to my shop. A week later, there was a notice come, sorry, you haven't got district manager's job, and evidently nobody else in that room got it either. So I thought, why? So I asked the district manager that we had at the present time, why? And I got a meeting with the executive, one of the company executives who came down. And he sat down, he said, you're a good team player. He said, but you're not just right, probably another year and you'll be okay. I thought, okay, thank you for coming. But why did he come all that way? I wonder, just to talk to me. 2 months later, they put out a promotion. If you go over 10%, you'll get 10% of the profit split between the manager and the staff in the shops. Now, I'm working for the company, so I cannot do anything than them pinching my idea. So I have problems with collaborating with people if I move into a group. I joined Toastmasters. And when I joined Toastmasters, I got a lot of areas that I could collaborate on. And I'm quite good, as I say, when I'm at the head and I can build. The Pathways Fest that was 2 or 3 months ago, I was an OC, organizing chair, on the last part of it. It was in 3 parts. The last part was my part for about 3 hours. I was in charge and I had to get all my team together. So I got my team together, and of course I picked the best team that I could. I got the best Zoom master because I knew all the Zoom masters. I knew who was good. I knew who was a little bit dodgy. So I got all that team and it went very smoothly all the way through. We had a dry run so that everybody knew what we're doing. I actually talked to them individually to make sure they understood what was happening, and if there's any problems to let me know on the day. It was overall, it was run by somebody else, but I was an OC. And unfortunately, they put in another Zoom master that I didn't know about at the last moment. I still had my Zoom master. So when I said to my Zoom master, can you put the slides out? He said, I ain't got the slides. He said, the other Zoom master's got the slide. I said, what Zoom master? Because I didn't know anything about it. So when you're collaborating, it's not just your team. You've got to go higher up to find out in the hierarchy, to find out what's happening. As I said, I was only in charge of that piece that went perfectly, but unfortunately, I did not take into consideration the overall all 3, even though I was there all day and I was doing speeches in the Pathways Fest, and I was taking roles in the Pathways Fest in the other 2 segments. I was unaware of that other Zoom master, which was my fault. I should have been aware of it, but I wasn't. So sometimes you can get a good, really good team building, collaboration with people, but there's always can be an outside factor that you haven't thought of. And that's what I say to everybody is, do a SWOT analysis, see what the threats, the opportunity, what's happening apart from what you're doing. So you know your strength, you know the weaknesses, you know the opportunities, you know all those, write it down and you will know everything. So before you start, do a SWOT analysis to make sure that you are spot on, because they'll come out of the side at you when you least expect it. And then you have to think on your feet. So back to you. Thank you very much.
Please give a big round of applause to John. Find out what is happening, do a SWOT analysis. Those were 2 excellent tips which I am going to do when I am working in a team. We'll move on to the next session, which is the table topic session. I would like to hand over the screen to Teresa.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I just want to open my slide. Let's see. It's wonderful to go on a holiday. It's wonderful to travel. It's even more wonderful if you're traveling with someone that you really feel that you're part of their life and they're part of your life. For our very first slide, which is the next one, I would like, I will choose Rosie. Rosie, I want to introduce you to these people. We were in Ireland of all places. And as you can see, if you are lucky enough to be Irish, then you're lucky enough. It could be anything that you want, traveling with a group, traveling with friends. Rosie. Are you there, Rosie?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Right. So I have to introduce my Irish friend, am I right?
Any situation that you have been in a group enjoying company on a travel. This one just happens to be Ireland.
Irish. Oh, okay. I hope Liz is here, but Liz is not here. Hello, come on. Let's have some drink here. We are going to celebrate our winning of the humorous speech contest tonight. Come have a drink. It's just one drink. It won't hurt you. But I'm a Muslim. I don't drink. Never mind. I have some Coke. Do you have Coke or Sprite? It would be great. But I have Liz here. My friend loves the drink. Maybe you can offer some for her. And I would enjoy seeing all of you having fun. I can see like that. You reminded me of John, my friend, the one in glasses. If you take off your hat, you look exactly like my friend John. He's in Malaysia now, from the UK. And you holding the glass in front, they reminded me of really as someone I admire. Her name is Teresa. All of you are really great to be here. Thank you for your company. We will see again where we got to get it together and we have a toast where we win again into our speech contest. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that improvisation. I would hope that you would have explained your personal and taken it in your personal excursion mode, but that was wonderful. What a wonderful way to do it. Fatima, this is New York City. This is my daughter, and traveling with my daughter. Have you had the experience of traveling with your sisters or besides John, like besides your husband? And tell us a little bit about that.
New York, that is a city that never sleeps. As it goes, I have been to New York 4 times for my work. That was before I met John. And when you go on conferences at midnight, after meeting, that's when you start a fun. Of course, in Asian countries, we are told not to go. But if we have sisters, and especially Teresa's daughter, this is when we can go clubbing, dancing, and have fun. Of course, nowadays I'm old. John says not to go, you know. But I have memories, sweet memories. And you can do anything. Away from home, where you go into, you know, little corners where all these lights are there, nobody knows. But I love New York and I would love to go again. But unfortunately for Muslims, I have had all the 4 times that I have traveled, even with other girls of all races, nations, they single me out and they scare me, do everything. And it's not a nice feeling to be done that. But I would love to go if I can and travel and enjoy again. And I would say age is nothing when you can go clubbing and have fun. Let's go. Enjoy New York. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that talk on New York and your personal experience. That is just wonderful. Everyone loves to visit the Big Apple, especially on New Year's Eve. Never got there myself, but yes, I can understand it. It's very difficult these days. It's very difficult to travel these days, but we all know to travel is to live. Kathy, would you do the next one? Please welcome my son and his new bride. And of course, they are in the City of Love.
How ironic when we're sitting here talking about traveling, almost exactly 4 years ago, I was in Paris. I went on a trip that year. We had a competition in England, and then we took the bullet train that goes under the ocean and went to Paris. It was lovely. And I'm going to say this, I don't know if you guys are aware of this in other countries, but we get told about this stereotypes that Americans are considered ugly Americans. So I was really nervous about going to Paris because I thought that they were going to think of me poorly as an American. We were treated so lovely. Almost everybody in Paris and Rome also speak English. We had our iPhones in case we needed help with that, but we had absolutely no trouble. One of my favorite places, we did actually go to a lot of the spots that you're actually seeing in this picture. But one of my favorite things, my favorite picture is there's a huge Swarovski crystal store there. And they have a staircase that actually is backlit. So you can see the crystals through the staircase and it just sparkles like crazy. And I got my husband to take a picture of me on that. But after we went to Paris, we went to Rome. And the hotel we stayed at was literally, you could see the walls of the Vatican right there. It's so lovely to travel and get to see all of these different countries. And our country is so young. The one thing that kept sticking in my mind is that many of the buildings I was looking at when I was there are older than the country that I live in. I love traveling. I cannot wait to get back to Paris again, which Toastmasters will be having our conference there eventually. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Kathy. That was wonderful. I love Paris. That's my go-to place, just like Audrey Hepburn. She loves it. That's why Paris is there for all of us. So thank you for speaking about that. This is Mexico, and there's the bathing beauty in her cabana. And I would like Somesh to speak to going on a wonderful beach vacation. Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master Teresa. Great set of topics and great idea to use personal pictures. Excellent. In terms of beach. Yes, what I like about going to beach is looking at the vastness of the ocean. The excursions to beach is always really fascinating. When we are in the beach, like when I experience that atmosphere of the beach, it feels as if we should never go out from that place. Be there always kind of feeling comes. It's amazing. I think the nature has got so many aspects to it, and we are really fortunate that we have this beautiful planet Earth here, where we can go to different places across the world. The world has become a global village as well now. That's the term that is used. The reason is because, as we know, not only this technology that we use, but also in terms of the number of flights that are available across the whole world. People can travel to different places and have great time across the world. Coming back to the beach, there are a few beaches here in the place, not far from the place where I live. Around 1 hour from my place, there is the west side of Ireland, which is the Galway. There is a Galway beach there. That's the Atlantic side, and that separates the American world from the European world. It's quite an interesting. You were mentioning about across the pond, so it was an interesting mention of across the pond concept. Yes, beaches are a really wonderful place to be in, and I think we can keep enjoying it, and we can just it's a great opportunity to get away from the normal life and have a very calming effect and soothing effect. So excursion is the way to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, so much. Yes, and I've been to that lovely West Galway, and it was gorgeous. We actually stayed. Of course, I'm Canadian, but we did stay right on the water there. Our next one is Bad Gastein in Austria. There's my daughter and her lovely partner enjoying the view. And who's our skier in this group? John?
Skiing. You would not get me on a pair of skis to save my life. I've tried roller skates and I'm rubbish. So trying to keep on there with my ankles, I think I'd have a lot of problems on skiing. So I've never actually been to the Alps or anything like that where there is snow, even though I lived in the UK. And of course, some January or February, we did have a lot of snow, but I've never actually been skiing. So I find it difficult to relate to that. I think my personal view, lay back on a lilo with the blue sea, the sand, and that's my ideal place, to be quite honest. Keep me away from snow, though I miss it, believe it or not. I've been away from the UK now for coming on 8 years. So I've not seen snow for 8 years. And I know it fascinates other people. Fatima's brother came across to visit us when we lived in the UK, and they were looking for snow. And this was in the December, there was no snow. So they had to go as far as Scotland to actually find some snow. Yeah. So some people love the snow. Me, I can love it or leave it, to be quite honest. But maybe coming to my age, maybe I should put it on my bucket list, at least try one thing, something out of the ordinary and push my limits. Back to you, Teresa.
Thank you very much, John. And notice this couple is not skiing. They're enjoying the view, just like you. And so that's what a wonderful topic we've had today. To travel is to live. And when we travel with other people, we have a wonderful time. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Please give a big round of applause to Teresa. She took us from Ireland to Austria, Amsterdam. I think we roamed the entire world sitting here and viewing this Zoom meeting. Next, I would like to call our general evaluator, Rosie, to provide her report. Please give her a big round of applause. You're on mute, Rosie. You need to unmute yourself.
All right. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for that great excursion around the world. Oh, I pronounced it right. All right. Thank you. Now let's call upon our first evaluator for today, which is Kathy. Over to you, Kathy.
Okay. Fatima, as usual, an excellent speech. You did excellent on your clarity, your eye contact. I actually really like the way you're placed on the camera. We can really see your body language. I thought this was a very compelling story. You took us on quite an excursion on your life and your story through your life. I could tell this speech was very challenging because it was so close to your heart. The story is so embedded in your memory, and I really appreciate you sharing it with us. One of the things that, I know this may seem like a short evaluation, one of the things that I saw in here, there's a couple of little things, they're very tiny. I'd like to see a few more details. It had me thinking a little bit about, you mentioned your brother's age and you mentioned the number of siblings. But you didn't actually share with us, unless I missed it. I didn't hear you say how old you were, because this story has had such a great impact and you didn't mention it in there. Also, there's little things that pop up in my brain when I'm listening to your story. And one of them is you mentioned football, and I'm assuming that you were talking about soccer, which to me actually is more I realize in the US we call it football. We have a different game that we call football. We call it soccer. I'm assuming you're talking about football because soccer actually uses your feet, whereas football in American football doesn't use your feet, which doesn't make sense. Anyway, just clarifying. The reason why I was bringing that up is that I realized this short story was hard to tell, but this might be a great speech for a future contest speech. Bringing in those details and making it aware, like if we were looking at well, we are an international audience, but in the speech competition and is an international audience, adding in more of those details would help in that story if you were to do it as a contest speech. And I also think to challenge yourself, there were a few opportunities in there to work a little bit more on your vocal variety. So, for example, when you're talking about the big boom, maybe raising your voice a little bit and going boom, kind of like John did when he started his speech, for example. Just some little things like that. But I really enjoyed your speech. I appreciate you sharing the story about yourself, and I look forward to the next one. I love watching you grow and grow as a speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. Now, yes, what a great round of evaluation you had there with all the expression and some added value that you gave just now. Thank you for that. Now let's move on to our second evaluator, which is Distinguished Toastmaster Somesh. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. I'm evaluating the speech of John. He's done the speech from team collaboration level 3, and it was about working in a collaborative way in a team. One of the things that the objectives of John's speech was to work with a team and inform us about his learnings in terms of working with the team. And John, as usual, you have fully met the objectives of this project. What I liked most about your speech was the way you started your speech. You said no. And immediately people were thinking, why is he saying no? And the way you said no, this is a great way to grab the attention of the audience when you're talking. This was really a great way to start a speech, and congratulations to you on doing that. Also, the flow of the speech was very good from the beginning to the end. The transitions were nice. You mentioned about going for a role and not getting it, and you had other people with you, and the challenges that you went through. And I could identify myself there because I have gone through that phase as well, where I have gone for interviews and I did not get what I wanted to get. And this happens with most of the people, I would say. It's like an excursion of life where we experience a lot of things. There is a very nice metaphor that I have seen. When we want to go from point A to point B, we generally think that it's a straight line. Point A to point B, I will get in a straight line. What happens really in life is you go up, then you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up. But finally you reach B. From A to B, you get A to B, but not the way what we originally thought we will get A to B. And you have explained it very nicely in your speech. And also in terms of the organizing chair part that and that was the main kind of objective of your speech, to work with a small team and actually deliver something. So organizing chair of Pathways Fest is it's actually, I would not say it's a small thing. It's probably a medium or large scale thing. The the way you have so many clubs in Malaysia and the way you have to organize the whole thing, it's actually a medium to large scale project that you have done. So you have actually surpassed what was told in the objective. So you've told us even more than what was told in the objective. So congratulations on that. In terms of a recommendation, what I would say is probably when you started in the beginning, you had a lot of variation. The way you started, you should probably continue that variation in your speech. Have that, the ups and downs that you have in terms of showing the emotions. I think you should probably have it across the whole way until the end of your speech, and maybe have the way you ended. I think it could have been a little bit more strong ending. Probably you should have, as your beginning was strong, but your end was not as strong as your beginning. So maybe you could think about that as well. Except for these two recommendations, excellent speech, and we look forward to hearing you more, John. Thank you so much. Please unmute.
You're not audible, Rosie. No, still not audible.
Hello?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay. Can you hear me? Sorry about that. Okay. What a great evaluation, because just now evaluation was about performance, and you perform it well by giving the points of improvement and values and all the point that needed to be what a good point and point of improvement. Sorry about that. Okay, now let's move on to our timers report. Distinguished Toastmaster Kaushal, over to you.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator and fellow.
You are
Toast-
not.
Can you not hear me?
Muted, Kaushal, just like me just now.
Okay,
We can hear you, Kaushal.
you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, here are my timings of your oratory excursions. Sorry about that rather forced use of the word of the day. For the speeches, Fatima, your time was 6 minutes, 49 seconds. John, your time was 7 minutes, 21 seconds. For the table topics, Rosie, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Fatima, 1 minute, 50 seconds. Kathy, 2 minutes exactly. Somesh, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. John, 1 minute, 49 seconds. For the evaluation speeches, Kathy, 2 minutes, 26 seconds. Somesh, 3 minutes, 28 seconds. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
You're not audible, Rosie.
Sorry about that. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what your timer is spot from the beginning because I've got some problem issue here. I hope I didn't overtime just now because I also didn't see the timer. Sorry about that. Now I would like to call upon our counter today. Are you ready, Sabaria?
She's
Or
in a
maybe-
restaurant, Rosie, so I have noted down the
All right,
counter
thank you,
report.
Amita. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Fatima repeated the word "we" twice. John had just one "I" in his speech. Rosie, your crutch word is and you had one unnecessary pause. Teresa's crutch word is and she repeated "I" twice. Kathy's crutch word is she used it twice. Somesh's favorite word is "and." It was used unnecessarily sometimes and just one unnecessary pause. I'll move on to my grammarian report. The word of the day was used by John, Somesh, Rosie, Kathy, and Kaushal. Sorry if I have missed someone, you can just type it in the chat. Coming to the good usages of grammar, Fatima had many good usages of grammar. She used a simile where she compared a bomb to something. Somesh had a metaphor where he mentioned about point A to point B. Fatima also used a hyperbole where she said that blood oozed out like a fountain. She also used onomatopoeia when she said pluck, pluck, pluck. There was two anaphora sentences used. Right was used in the beginning of two sentences. And John had a very nice phrase regarding penny, a penny worth and something he mentioned about it. Now moving to the point of improvements. Long life with him can just be he had a long life. Evaluator, which is evaluating, can be evaluator who is evaluating, as he is a person. Okay, I cannot understand my handwriting, so that's it. Back to Rosie.
Thank you for that report. And thank you, Amvita, for taking up the two roles tonight, which is the counter and also grammarian. And this is my report for tonight, for today. So we have we started a bit late, 1 or 2 minutes, which is okay. And I like the Toastmasters today, which gave us some point about our theme today. And I really particularly love the table topic because we are going to travel around the world, which is really great. And above all, I think all the speech evaluators have done it really well with all the points. And then all the role players are really great tonight. I'm sorry about what happened to there's some audio problem and also some of the speaker problem. Above that, it's on my part, but I love all the pictures that shown by Teresa. I agree with you. And apart from that, I think tonight we have a great meeting. I enjoyed every part of it. Thank you. I give back to Toastmaster. Over to you.
Thank you, Rosie. Please give her a big round of applause. And you don't have to apologize for your audio issues because every one of us have faced this issue one time or the other because of the Zoom meeting. Now I would like to hand over the screen to our president, DTM Somesh. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Anvita. And thank you very much for taking 3 roles today. The Toastmaster, the grammarian, and our counter. Huge round of applause to Anvita for doing that. Great meeting as usual. And it's really a great pleasure to be in company of all of you every week for 1 hour. We all learn from each other when we meet like this. It's really a great experience. Highly indebted to each and every one of us here that we are able to do this and we are continuing this. Thank you so much. And I close this meeting. Thank you.
Shall we take a pic?